All right, so I got your one club and one ball here. Wait, you're not here for mini golf. Then what are you here for? Zenless. Right, hold on. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. You're here for the Zenless Zone Zero impressions. Well, I'm Post Time Skip Sam, and welcome to my impressions of Zenless Zone Zero. I'm tremendously excited to share this with all of you. I've been working very hard on making this video, putting it all together. We're going to talk about the art and animation, the gacha mechanics, the gameplay, the story. We're going to talk about hollow exploration. It's going to be a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, my overall feelings is that I did enjoy Zenless Zone Zero, but there are some major flaws that I hope HoYoverse fixes in the future, but more details on that in this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at Zenless Zone Zero, starting off with the art and animation. Right, I have to put in the PC.
Now, I'm about to drop the most insane statement at the very beginning of this video. You probably don't even know who I am at this point, but we're dropping it. ZZZ, our Zenless Zone Zero, has the most insanely incredible anime art style I have ever seen in any video game. It just straight up, sure, I might be biased due to the bright colors and the beautiful character designs, but I honestly believe that the millions, the billions of dollars that HoYoverse MiHoYo have been poured into this game. It just shows so well. When you compare it to Impact 3rd, Genshin Impact, Star Rail, and you look at ZZZ and you're like, all right, guys, I see what the next generation of video games for HoYoverse looks like, and the animation is absolutely insane. If I just had to rate this game alone on art and animation and it had no substance whatsoever, I would probably still give this game a good score. They've actually put a lot of care in the NPC designs. NPCs don't just look boring, and I'm not talking about the amazing design of the coffee owner or the ramen shop owner or the sickly pale arcade owner who I really hope she's okay. There are so many non-playable characters in this game that look incredible. If we go back to the playable characters and their designs, some of the designs are just bangers. So Noelle is my main in Genshin. I have too many figures of Rem from ReZero. Look, I'm a connoisseur of maids, and I love my maid characters. I love Rena. I love Coraline, Coralina, it's Coraline. I love Coraline. She has a little whirligig. I will say I'm not a fan of Ellen's design, but I love my Wolf Boy. Wolf Boy is like the best looking character in this game, to be honest. But look, the reason why I'm pointing out the characters is that the characters are all different. Like, if that was one thing that I had, no character feels like a copy of another character. It actually plays a part in their factions. Each character is assigned to a faction. I'm not quite sure what the factions are called, but each faction is a genre of movie per se. You know, like the maids are very representative of like the horror genre. What I'm trying to say is at the end of this video, I'll be ranking all the character designs, so you won't want to miss it. It's going to be a good time. It's at the end of this video, by the way. And let's not forget, the actual animation for the gameplay is absolutely awesome. The really nice thing about this game, and we'll talk more about it in the gameplay, but every character is unique. They're not tied to a weapon that another character has to use. They're much like in Star Rail. They're just kind of free to be the character that they need to be. And that gives them so much freedom to just do freaking whatever. Every character I've played, there's like honestly not a character that I was playing that I found was like not fun to play. Okay, there's a lot of amazing things about the environment in this game. And it just goes to show how much effort and care went into designing this world. The cityscape is just so fantastic. And we'll talk about the vibe a little bit later on, but there's just this beautiful incorporation of the entire city environment. Whether it is the video shop that you are running with your brother, I love walking around the video shop. That was like one of the first things I did when I was playing the game, because I was just so amazed at the attention to detail that they put throughout the entire environment. Looking at the VHS wall brings me back to when I was a kid going to Blockbuster and running around the shop looking at these cool covers of movies that I couldn't purchase because I was I was under 17. I can't purchase rated R films. My parents were very strict on that. But that's beside the point. What I'm trying to say is it was just a good walk down memory lane. Hopefully, all these other developers are also 30 plus, but you know, they're probably in their early 20s looking at Blockbuster and going, damn, that's a retro shop. Cool, let's put in our game. And it's like, yeah, that was my childhood. But either way, what I'm just trying to say is it was just a lot of fun. I just had so much fun in exploring this video environment. In fact, even having like us going into the back door, going to this cool secret computer shop with all these monitors all over the wall, it brought me back. Because back when I was a kid, look, here I'm back when I was a kid, my friend's friend owned a pizza. My friend's friend, I think like family friend, I don't know how it is, but they owned a pizza shop. And every time I would go to this pizza shop, we would always go in the back. And the cool thing about the back of this pizza shop was that there was an arcade. Now, the arcade was broken, so I don't actually remember what arcade game it was there. But it was so cool. It was cool to go behind the scenes as a child from a cool pizza shop in the 90s to there's a secret arcade in the back for the employees to play. It was just one of the hypest, coolest things that I've experienced, you know, as a child. Either way, it really brought me back of just exploring this one area and seeing all the decorations, all the detailed environments throughout this entire place. It really felt like a place that people lived in. And I think that's a lot of what I've been wanting from Hoyoverse games, is places that you go to that feel lived in. It doesn't feel like a game environment. It just feels like a cool place to chill and hang out. And even going up to this is the crazy part, going up to the bedroom. And let me tell you, dude, the bedroom, I was stunned. It felt like a bedroom. In fact, from my understanding, each proxy has their own separate bedroom and layout. Like, their bedrooms aren't alike. This isn't just like, here's the proxy bedroom. It's like, here's Bella's bedroom, and there's also Wise's bedroom. And I played as Bella, and exploring Bella's bedroom was awesome. We got to see that she was into music. She had like a guitar. She's got this awesome CRT TV. She even has this beautifully like blank wooden wall that you get to put up pictures that you get throughout the game. It felt like a place that was lived in. And look, some people are like, yo, it's too clean to be lived in. Look, I'm this clean. So to me, it felt lived in, okay? It's just a beautiful, amazing environment. And what I love most is every time the game tells you to go to bed, the first thing your character does before going to bed is they sit down, they pull out their phone. And I'm like, God damn, this is Persona. Persona's got nothing on ZZZ. Persona, you hit the bed and you're like, you know, you just say, okay, I'm going to bed. And your character goes to bed and is like, you're a teenager. That's not, you don't do that. That's not what you would do. You don't just go to bed. You open up your phone and you see all these terrible posts that you just decide to ignore, except for one post that says commission, and then you click on that one and then you reply. But everything else is complete trash. Regardless, it was amazing. It was very beautiful. And I mentioned, I dropped the Persona reference. There is a lot of Persona in this game. I think what's really great about Persona games is that they put you in the life of a character and you get to be a part of that life, exploring environments that feel like it's a part of your life. And so every time someone's like, yo, that's kind of like Persona when you're just walking around the city and you're enjoying life with your friends, it's like, yeah, sure, that's Persona, but really it's just meant to give you the idea, the feeling that you're enjoying this world as this person. You know, that is inherently a human thing to do. It's just that Persona has captured it in such a way that if games try to replicate it, it just feels like Persona. But in reality, it's just a thing that humans actually do in real life that video games are now starting to be able to capture. And so that's what Zenless Zone Zero does very well. It's just exploring the environment. When you go out of the video store, the city is absolutely incredible. There's so much things to do. You could take pictures of cats. You get to see this weird cat cop. You get to see a cool ramen dude. You go to the arcade, which, please, Hoyoverse, I'm asking you, let the arcade be walkable. Okay, look, I might be a kid born in the early 90s. I'll admit it, okay? I'm 33. My childhood of exploring the arcade is still not lost on me. Heck, this whole video series is centered around the story of me creating a mini golf establishment because as a child, I love mini golf. I mean, I still love mini golf now, but every single mini golf establishment I had laser tag in it, had the arcade. I'm trying to recreate it in this video series. So please, just let me walk around the arcade. Regardless, the art and animation in this game is just one of the best I have seen in any game before, and it just shows. It shows how much they care about giving the players just such a high quality experience. It is unfortunate, right, because Hoyoverse makes so much money, and I can't imagine any other game having this quality, this level of art and animation. So hopefully Hoyoverse won't be the only games to achieve this level of quality, but goddamn, this is the best I have seen.
I cannot stress how important it is to tell you that the art and animation is so incredible that it is at least worth playing the game for. Even if you didn't like the gameplay or the story or any other element, the art animation is worth at least giving this game a try because it's truly something incredible. So definitely highly recommend. Oh, hey, what's going on? Yo, welcome to my mini golf. Yeah, you guys want one or two? Is the bird playing? Okay, yeah, sure. I got the one hole over there. You guys want to go check it out? Yeah, I'm recording a bit. Sorry. Anyways, the vibe, the music, and UI. Let's talk about it. There is so many good things about this, so let's check a look.
Look, I've already talked at length about the art and animation, about how it feels like Persona because you are existing in this world. You could even watch characters in the city going about their day-to-day life. Characters just don't constantly loop. You know, they actually hide character loops, which is actually fantastic. I remember walking past an old lady, and she just kept walking. And I didn't get to see her for the rest of the day. Now, I could have been there for a bit longer to see her like come back around. I'm not quite sure. But the actual life cycle of the city, characters actually moving about throughout day to day to day, it felt unique. It felt different. In fact, the first time I met Ellen, she was just hanging around the city. She was just vibing, and I was like, what the hell? What the hell? And I'm wondering if they're going to do this for more characters that honestly they want you to pay for. Music in ZZZ fits the entirety of the game. Whether you're jumping into gameplay or combat, whether you're exploring the city, visiting different shops, there's always a tune, there's always a music that fits the vibe. None of the music is ever bad in this game. Everything just fits you existing in this space, existing in this world, going to the subway station, going to that weird spot where you see the hollow, going over to the arcade, going over anywhere. It's just an absolutely amazingly fun time, and so does the UI. But let me tell you, the UI looks absolutely incredible. But this might be one of the things that I found, I would say, one of my first my truly actual negatives of the game. The UI is just confusing as all heck. Like, I have played, at the time of recording this, I have played maybe 15 or so hours of this game, and it's so confusing. I'm like desperately trying to figure out, like, wait, what button is this one? What's this one? And I understand, right? Let's talk about, if we go back to the vibes, all the elements, all your currencies in the game, all this stuff, they all have their own special words. I think it's called like signal or something, you know, in the game. And it's like, oh, that's the premium currency and all that fun stuff because it fits the vibe of this aesthetic of running a video shop, running a video store, right? However, when you jump from Hoyoverse game to Hoyoverse game, I kept forgetting what each of these are called. I used to know all the currencies in Impact Third. Then I played Genshin. I was like, okay, I know what all these currencies are. Then I played Star Rail, and then once I hit Star Rail, I was like, oh, these are another 4 set of currencies that I have to remember. And I'm like, okay, Stellar Jades, gold warp tickets, and then or silver warp tickets, but I'm pretty sure those are called something else other than the color of the tickets themselves. And I start to like forget, and I'm also missing another currency. It gets a little confusing. And now we're at Zenless Zone Zero, and I just gave up. But I really wish they had a common word between each of their games, right? We're like, hey, let's just call the premium currency that you purchase crystals something, or something crystals, right? Something that kind of still gives you the vibe of each of these currencies being a part of the world without completely having your players be lost. Because I'm confused. At this point, I don't really care to learn. I'm just gonna be free to play the entire time. I did open up this entire video talking about that I'm old, but I promise you this is not an old guy thing, right?
You know, one of the coolest things about the vibes of Zenless Zone Zero is bringing back my childhood, and in a way that it doesn't feel like, not necessarily nostalgic, but it's more of like, this is like, the developer saw this as a cool set piece to set everything in. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. It's kind of why I wish I wanted to explore the arcade more. Why I wish we had more things to do that were more 90s related. I don't know. It's just such a cool vibe to the entire game. And it's kind of why I made this video series in the first place. Mini golf, ever since I was a child, it was one of my favorite things to do. Even now, I love going to mini golf. It's just so cool to explore these different holes. It's so cool to explore the unique environments that you go to a mini golf establishment for, whether you go to fantasy, medieval, western. All these mini golf places are always set pieces to something completely different and unique. And it's something that I really, really love. And it's what I'm trying to capture in this video series. I mean, right now I only have a single mini golf hole, but eventually it's going to expand as we get more subscribers. Which is also, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and take a look at the story for Zenless Zone Zero and what I thought about it. For the story, I do not want to judge the quality of the writing. I want to focus on the way the story was told, as it is a major reason why I skipped a lot of the story.
The story is told to you in 3 different ways: pre-rendered animations, comic book cutscenes, and then visual novel style storytelling. And the first one, the animation, obviously, it's just incredible. This is the best that the Hoyoverse has ever done. The animation is absolutely insane. I cannot believe just how much care and effort goes into each of these animations. It feels like I'm watching like an actual anime occur. Like, it is insane the amount of quality that is being played on my computer. And I can't imagine watching that on the phone either. It must be incredible. So it's absolutely incredible. I am amazed. Great time. Obviously, there's not a lot of dialogue that happens in those animations. These animations take a lot of time, but there is the same amount of action happening. The next one you will often see is the comic book. This is honestly my preferred method of enjoying the story of Zenless Zone Zero, because the comic book animation, or sorry, the comic book art is very good. The way the dialogue is paced is very easy to read. It goes by very smoothly, and it's very fun to flip through different pages and seeing the actual comic book in proper panel design, in proper framing. The art is just very good for the comic book stuff. It's just a really great way of telling the story while also including voiceover on top of that to really add just a lot of flavor to the story. The last part of the storytelling is the visual novel style storytelling, where it's just highly detailed characters, very rarely animating, but moving around, talking to you with a lot of dialogue. This is unacceptable at this point. I'll be honest. The reason why I'm a little bit more harsh on Zenless Zone Zero than I have been with Star Rail, Genshin, or even Honkai Impact 3rd is because they did it the 4th time in a row of completely telling you the story of their game mostly through the visual novel aspect of the storytelling. It's a poor way of giving the players story. You are just telling them things that are happening, not showing them what is occurring, and it just allows the developers to continue writing and writing, even if this writing isn't very poignant. But I feel like the reason that's holding them back is this games as a service thing, where they have to release content every single month. So they can't just have a moment where they tell this incredible story over the course of several months. They have to like give players a certain like 5 to 6 hour story limit per month. And that I feel like is unmanageable when you're doing high quality storytelling and not just writing a story. I think another thing that lends to this criticism is that although you cannot compare an anime to a video game, because really there's not really any video games that can really match the storytelling of some anime, but they both take up your time. And a lot of what Zenless Zone Zero does, and we will talk about the Hollow Exploration, is that they want to take a lot of your time. And even though the game is completely free, when you're spending an hour, 2 hours mindlessly talking, not necessarily building up the relationship or story between characters, not really engaging in a interesting plot line, it really just felt like filler. And so I dropped off. To a lot of people out there who are free to play, I'm sure a lot of you also pirate anime. So at that point, you're basically determining whether you want to spend 3 hours playing a game with story that doesn't have much of an impact unless you get to the main points of the story, which takes a few more hours, or to just watch a 24 episode anime that's like 9 hours long and gives you the complete satisfaction than the story that you're currently playing. Like, that's the kind of like mentality I have, is just, you know, I just much rather just watch an anime at that point.
Hey, I understand that not everyone's going to agree with me on the story aspects of Zenless Zone Zero, but look, I cannot judge whether the story is good or bad. The criticism I have for the story is the way it was delivered, so I do want to make that clear. These are impressions of 15 hours of playing through the game, and although I did not play through the entirety of the story, at least from what I've played, I just didn't appreciate how the story was delivered. So hopefully that came across to you. I'm not here to hate on Zenless Zone Zero. In fact, I find Zenless Zone Zero to be pretty incredible. I just think that the way the story was delivered is pretty weak. And I hope that they improve in the future. Speaking of improving in the future, look, I do occasionally stream on Twitch, and I do have a YouTube channel dedicated to my live videos and playthroughs and streams. This is all done through my VTuber, which you actually just saw earlier. It's the pigeon controlling the lady, which, I mean, at that point sounds a bit weird, but the lady's a mecha. And either way, you should definitely check out those. That's pretty cool. A little plug right there before we jump right into the gameplay. So enjoy what will be my favorite aspect of Zenless Zone Zero, the gameplay.
The gameplay is some of the best, if not one of the best games that I have played that is like free to play, to be honest. The gameplay, honestly, it's better than most other game combats. Like, unless you look at like a Bayonetta or a Devil May Cry, this game really stands next to them. Or maybe maybe a few steps below, but it's truly an incredible game. It's very funny watching people play the game because they all play it in such different styles. Everyone has their own character that they enjoy, that they play as, and I think that shows so much. I'm really curious how, as this game progresses, if people are really sticking to metas or they're just playing characters that they really enjoy. Because for me, I'm building up my maid team. Right now, I'm still trying to get the Wolf Boy, okay? I'm still struggling to get the Wolf Boy, but I got my 2 maids who I really like, and it's freaking fantastic. They're so much fun to play. I'm so grateful that the maid characters that I currently have are a lot of fun to play, because I would be so sad if they were terrible to play as, because then I wouldn't be playing them. But that's what I mean. The gameplay is just, it's a lot of fun. Regardless of whether you're doing like playing Snake or you're playing like a Dig Dug clone at the arcade, or Whether you're just doing combat trials or exploring the city, there's always so much fun gameplay to do. And what I really love about the gameplay, and I mentioned this at the very beginning, but the W engines are freaking awesome. Because much like Star Rail, the abilities that boost your attack power aren't based off your weapons, you know? So you don't have to worry about having characters with the same boots or something, you know? They're all just helping you buff the character, but not necessarily changing the character's aesthetic, because this allows the actual developers to have such unique looking styles, such unique looking art, characters, the way they move, the way they combat. Everyone is so different. Everyone is so unique. It's very funny watching some of the community talk about secret moves for the characters, because it's like, okay, that it makes sense, right? Because when you look at other fighting games, when you look at other combat-oriented games, like character action games like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, people don't call your combo moves secret moves. But the Zenless Zone Zero community, because I guess they're not used to playing games like these, they'll say like Angie's move where she has like an uppercut or like a down cut move, or like, oh, that's her secret move. It's like, well, it's not really a secret move. It's just part of a combo, but I guess the game doesn't explain that very well. It's just, I think it's just very cute that the community calls it a secret move, when if you play any other character action game, it's like, oh, that's just part of like a combo move. But because it's not a move that has a button on the screen, it's like that is a secret move because they hid that in the combo. It's like, that's just how other games are played. But either way, I'm not trying to make fun of the community. I just find it very, very cute because this might be one of their first times playing a game like Zenless Zone Zero, and it's something that I hope other games implements in the future. Also, this game has one of my favorite countering parry system. When you swap in characters, if you swap them as an enemy is attacking, it performs a parry. And that stuff is just the hypest stuff, because you're probably watching a video right now of one of my favorite combos in the game, where you counter an enemy and then you start attacking. It brings up the bar at the bottom to ask you to swap into a character so for them to do an attack. So they jump in, they do an attack, and then another character comes in. Like you get this chain cycle of characters swapping in for a special attack, swapping out, swapping another character in for a special attack, countering. All these things just make you feel so badass, and the sound effect for the countering sounds so good. Let's just take a listen. Oh, that just sounds so good. This is one of my favorite aspects of the game. It's just the counter system. It's not only simple to use, so anyone could actually do this. They've just made it so much fun. And it gives you a purpose to swapping characters many, many times. Like, it's one of those games where it's like, you definitely need to have a party of your favorite characters, because you will actually be playing these characters throughout the entirety of the fight. Like, even in a game like Impact Third, that is, once again, a character action game, very similar to Zenless Zone Zero, with 3 different characters for you to swap between. Even Impact Third, you can get away by just playing one character, swapping with the character briefly, and going back to another character. In Zenless Zone Zero, the game is constantly forcing you to bring in characters for crazy combos, crazy strikes. I think ultimately, it's the parry move that really encourages you to swap characters as soon as an enemy attacks. So you're always swapping no matter what. And I think that is just a feel-good mechanic. I have not seen a mechanic have a good feeling parry like better than this, to be honest. Like, this might be my favorite parry mechanic because A, it's simple to use, and B, it feels so satisfying to use, and then C, it's just cool once you chain so many special attack swap-ins together. It just makes you feel so powerful, so good. It's very funny. Look, I was gonna make a video about Wuthering Waves. It took me a while to figure out how I wanted to do my impression videos. By that point, Zenless Zone Zero came out, and as someone who isn't a big fan of open world games, I was playing Wuthering Waves just for the combat, and then ZZZ came out, and I'm like, all right, see you later, peace, I'm out. And it's not to say that Wuthering Waves is bad at all. The combat is still freaking amazing. I think their flying mechanic is super dope. Like, there's a lot of great things that Wuthering Waves does amazing for gameplay. But if I'm solely talking about gameplay, Zenless Zone Zero has captured my heart with the way they do parries. It's just absolutely insane. I am hoping that the game gets harder, because this game is a little bit too easy. Even on challenge mode, it is way too easy. And what I'm hoping, and this was the thing that started to happen in Wuthering Waves as well, is that Wuthering Waves has this really great satisfaction of fighting enemies that are way harder than you are. But you still get the satisfaction of fighting them. However, at a certain point, you then start to realize that, oh, you're not high enough level. You need to level up. You need to grind materials. You need to do all these things. And that kind of ruins the fun of like skill-based combat compared to level grinding. And right now, Zenless Zone Zero for me, 15 hours in, I'm starting to feel the material grind, where the game is like, hey, look, you're hardly doing any damage to this character, level up your characters. And that is a little bit unfortunate, because this game has a lot of skill-based comments and things in it. The Hollow Zero exploration mode is super cool to test your skills out on extremely difficult enemies. It's just unfortunate that I'm starting to already see the material and level creep of the game, where the game is like, well, hey, guess what? We're just like every other free-to-play game. If you ever want to get past this content, you need to level up our characters. You need a material grind. You need to actually participate in the game. This is not a skill-based game. And that's the part where I'm like, I feel a bit hurt, but I get it. That is just the whole part of a gacha game, a whole part of a free-to-play game, right? They need to have all these systems in play to keep you constantly playing the game. It's not like a game like Final Fantasy 16 or Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, where it's basically skill-based. You can level things up to make things slightly easier, but ultimately, you could just play the game at level 1, right? And you can still have a good time. You can still have a fun challenge, which can't ever exist in a game like Zenless Zone Zero without wanting to die. Oh, also the Bang Boos are really cute, and I love the Bang Boos. They're really great. I don't know why they're called Bang Boos. It's just so close to Bang Bros. I'll just be honest. I don't know why they call them Bang Boos. So the gameplay, absolutely amazing. That is a 10 out of 10 gameplay. I have no complaints, except for one. I understand why the developers made the Hollow Exploration, right? It's a way to break up the gameplay from your fighting to your hub areas to just exploring the TV. They give you these different play styles to kind of pace out the game, to pace out the story, to not have you constantly do the same thing over and over and over, right? It's just meant to not keep you bored. When I was going through this story, the best part about this game is the fighting, and then it's exploring the city and the world. But oftentimes, the game just throws you into the TV, and it sucks. You're in the middle of a cool story, and the game like throws you into the TV and it's like, all right, go explore. And the story in the TV stuff, the actual dialogue that they give you, is very filler dialogue. It doesn't lend much to the actual main story. Like, sure, it's like, oh, we gotta set up bombs for the train and all that stuff, but it's like, you could do this, you could actually do this in any other way. And I guess in a way they are telling this, they're showing you part of the story rather than just telling you it through visual novels. But this is also just not the way, man. It breaks up the pacing too much, where I'm just like, I just want to get back to actually fighting. I don't hate the Hollow Exploration. In fact, all I want is for it to be left out of the main story. It could be still Hollow Zero Exploration is still a lot of fun. Keep it the same as it is. The exploration side quest stuff, keep as is, that's totally fine. It's just when it's involved in the main story, it doesn't add much. It really just, as I mentioned, it breaks up the story stuff, right? It breaks up the pacing too much for me that like, it just pulls me out of the game, where I'm like, oh, this again. And it's like, all right, go navigate through here and do this thing and do that thing. And then you go into the thing, and then you load into the TV zone. You move 5 blocks, you enter in a combat area, another loading area, open up the clothes, like dun 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 dun. Character shows up, they show their big boobs or whatever, and then you fight, you fight like 3 enemies, and then it brings you back out. Another loading screen to bring you back out of the game. And then here you are exploring the TV. It's like, it breaks up the pacing way too much. It really just doesn't add anything fun to the main story of the quest. The Holo stuff doesn't even have interesting story stuff, because literally the developers have added a fast forward button to skip through some of the filler dialogue and to speed up the movement in the TV world. So it's like already they have already admitted that it's not very engaging to explore the TV world. And they've already admitted that there's filler dialogue in the TV world because of that fast forward button. So it's like already you're like, the developers have already admitted that this isn't a great part of the gameplay. Yet they are continuing to use it in the main story. Like I said, it's okay for side stuff to include. I don't mind it. I actually really enjoy it in like Zero exploration stuff. But for the main story, as it breaks up the animated cutscenes, it breaks up the actual fun combat, and breaks up the hub exploration, the TV stuff is just a pain to go through. And honestly is probably a big reason why, if I got into the story of the game, that I probably would drop the game, because I'm like, I don't want to keep going through the main story if I have to go through the TV every single time. So that's really annoying. I totally forgot. Even the puzzles and the gameplay of the TV Holo exploration stuff, or the Holo exploration stuff, is not even good. It's like, it's very basic. Like it really feels like filler stuff of just like, we got to pad out the main story, so we have all this stuff to really slow down the gameplay, really slow down everything. And I'm just like, why do you do this to us?
Now, I feel like with the story, I had to make things clear, and here with the gameplay, I had to make things clear. I do not hate the Holo exploration. I actually find it really enjoyable. What I don't find enjoyable about it is that it's very distracting when you're trying to play through the main story and you're exploring these amazing hub worlds to all of a sudden being tossed into a TV world where everything looks the same. It's just something that I wish was only kept for like side missions and side content, where I find that the TV exploration truly becomes its own and really flourishes. So that's all I had to say about the gameplay. The rest of the gameplay, absolutely freaking amazing. I'm still learning new things about characters. Okay, we have one more section to go to. Let's talk about the gacha.
I've explained how confusing the gacha currencies are when you're jumping through multiple gacha games, but the reason for this section is, and why I want to talk about the gacha mechanic, is because I have been playing gacha games for quite some time, and I've even made a video a while back about, is gacha gambling? And, you know, there have been debates on whether it is gambling or not. But if I'm going to make an impression video about Zenless Zone Zero, I also don't want to give people the impression that this is a flawless game. We can always say that, hey, this game is free to play. You can play this game as long as you like. And that's really cool. That's true. You can play the story as long as you like. They give you trial characters, so you don't ever have to worry about pulling for characters. And I understand that Zenless Zone Zero is doing nothing different that Star Rail and Genshin are doing. However, because I'm doing this video series, I did want to try something different about critically looking at the gacha mechanics in the games that I'll be talking about, because they do exploit players. It is the reason why these companies are able to make so much money from gacha. And so I just want to be open and honest. I'm not asking for people to boycott. Even I will not be boycotting these games. I will continue to play gacha games. But I do want to be more responsible and not lend people to feel the need to pull for characters, because the amount of money that is required for you to spend is absolutely ridiculous. And I know a lot of people will say that it's fair. It's one of the fairest free-to-play gacha systems out there, but that's still $240 for 90 pools. And the bundles and getting free pools only masks the actual value of those pools to convince you that you don't have to spend. But at least in my experience, for Genshin, I probably put in more money than that. I probably put in nearly $500, $600. And to some people, that's like pathetic. That's like not even whale status. That's not even dolphin status. You know, I'm probably still a krill in the ocean by how much I've spent in Genshin. At the same time, those $600 could have been spent way better playing games, buying games that I would have enjoyed more if we compare just pure time spent. Why are we ending on such a sad note? I just want to inform people so that they don't have to worry about spending money. Like, I hate to see people get exploited. And you could say they're weak. You can make all these excuses, but we're all in this shitty world together. There's already so much hate on the internet. Like, why don't we share a little bit of love? Why don't we have some happy, good vibe? And if the least I can do for a small creator like myself is to save one person from making a pool that they would regret or having them spend money that they shouldn't be spending, that's something worth trying. Even if this video gets one view and that one person slightly consider like, oh, maybe I'll wait to pull. Maybe I won't pull for this character. Maybe we'll pull for another character. That's still enough to save you some amount of money, you know? We can always imagine it being in our own shoes of like, well, I just save up for like the free pulls. Like I don't get convinced to pool for games, but like there's a reason why Hoyoverse makes millions and millions of dollars. It's not because of you. Because of the other people.
Hey, thank you for coming by to the mini golf establishment. Post time skip land. I think that's literally the first time I said it in this video. Thank you so much. All right, cool. Anyways, let's talk more about the gacha mechanics. Now, to be clear, you can actually play through the entirety of the story using trial characters, which are characters that are perfectly leveled for the story content. So if you want to just go through the main story, you don't even have to pay a single cent. But the purpose of me talking about the gacha mechanics is oftentimes, and including there are countless videos of me even making the same excuse, about like, hey, it's free to play, you can go through all the main story, you don't have to pay a single dime. But the whole reason why Hoyoverse makes so much money is because there are people out there who do end up paying. And some of those people pay it because they feel forced to, they feel exploited, and that's just an aspect that I don't want to participate in anymore. And look, I've been a React YouTuber for quite some time, especially for Hoyoverse games. So I definitely know that I have affected some people in some way to be convinced that this character is amazing because look at how her ass jiggles. Holy shit. I'm already doing it. I apologize. But that's what I'm saying, is that it's just like genuine reactions of amazing character trailers and genuine, like just watching how cool characters move and things, it does get you to pull for characters. Even I have pulled for characters because I felt pressured into, especially when I'm watching a trailer, I'm like, this character looks so cool. And it's a thing that like, I think often gets overlooked, and it's something that I don't really want to participate in. Look, I don't criticize anyone for being free to play or not being free to play. Y'all just enjoy the game and have fun. This game is extremely good. Anyways, look, it's been really great to share my impressions of Zenless Zone Zero with you. I greatly appreciate you all taking the time to watch this video. I know this video can get a bit long. I'm really trying to figure out how I want to proceed with these impression videos because, look, I got a lot of things on my mind. I watch a lot of anime, I play a lot of games. I got a lot of opinions to talk about. Not like bad opinion. I mean, like, I just want to talk about the media that I play and watch and read. And I think this is like a perfect opportunity as someone who wants to find a creative space for me to explore weird and unique ideas. I mean, look, I'll be perfectly frank with you. This entire environment that you're seeing before you, that singular mini golf hole there, is all built in Unreal Engine 5. And the reason for it is as we gain more subscribers on this channel, I will be getting more and more mini golf holes to further expand my mini golf establishment. Ultimately, my goal with subscribers is to eventually get to 35 holes, which means that it's 2 17 holes and 1 18th hole. This is how typically the mini golf establishment that I've been to have ran, and it's going to be built into a game. Now, this game is not going to just be a mini golf simulator. There's going to be some more weirder aspects and an actual story, but more on that as we make more videos. You'll start to see the story come together. Either way, it's going to be playable at some point once we actually complete the mini golf establishment. So definitely, this is a weird, crazy creative project that I don't even know if I'm going to succeed in. Maybe people just won't even like this video. I have no idea. But either way, I appreciate you all taking the time to watch me. Definitely like the video if you actually enjoyed it. That helps a lot. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch my VTuber stream, we stream on Twitch and on a separate YouTube channel. All those links will be in the description or actually at the end of this video as well. The next video I'm working on is going to be my experience playing through Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail, but I have a lot more videos. We're going to be doing One Piece, so we're going to be talking about Hunter x Hunter, Berserk, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IX. There's just a lot of, Nier Automata. There's so many videos that I want to make. There's so many of these impression videos that I want to talk about and make stuff. And so I hope you all come for the journey, for the ride. Anyways, enjoy my ranking of the Zenless Zone Zero character designs.
All right, so we'll be ranking the character designs for all the 1.0 Zenless Zone Zero characters. Now, keep in mind, we are strictly just ranking the character designs. We're not talking about character stories or their voice acting or their gameplay. It's all about the character design. And the first character I have on my list is Rena. And Rena, we're looking at maybe like an S or potentially like a triple S. You know what? We'll give her a triple S because she is my second favorite character in this game. And she's adorable. She's cute. She's obviously a freaking dope looking maid. She's got these cool little ghost guys with her. It's a lot. It's really cool. Her design is awesome, and I love the classic maid dress that she has. And you know, she's got a lot. She's got a big plot. You know, so you know, triple S for her. Next up is Anbi. Anbi also a great character, probably my favorite of the three main characters that you are first introduced to. I play her a lot. Her design, look, I'm not a huge fan of the fashion choices that she has made, but she is pretty cool. The headphones are really a vibe. I do appreciate the like high contrast green that she enjoys wearing. I think that is a really unique color that you don't see very often in character designs. I will put her at a for Anbi. Next up we have is Corrin. I'm just going to throw her up at S. Corrin is an amazing character. She is one of the only lolly characters in this game that isn't sexualized, which is an A+ in my book. And she also is just adorable. She has a cute little teddy bear that looks like it's going to kill you. She has a bunch of pins like all across her body, most likely representing either like a doll or some sort of doll-like character that she is supposed to be in this horror genre. And I also really like her maid outfit as well. It looks really cool. So Corrin, absolutely S rank. Next up is Ben. Ben is obviously also an S rank character as well. He is just a ginormous bear and he looks so freaking cool. So Ben, congratulations, you are S rank. There's nothing else to say. He is just a cool bear. Next up we have is Nicole. Now, I'm going to be honest, Nicole is my least of the three main characters, and the biggest reason why is that aside from her assets, there's really not much going on in her design. It just looks very generic in the design. So I'm going to go with C for Nicole. I have really not much else to say. It doesn't really impress me all that much. Next up is Billy. Billy, we're going for a B. The reason why we're choosing B for Billy is not just because he is Billy, but it's really, he has a really cool outfit, really cool design. But when I look at his body, it reminds me of Boot Hill, and although I really love Boot Hill, he is one of my favorite Star Rail characters, it really takes me back of like, I wonder what is up with this character. Why is he like this? Like, what is going on with him that he chooses to be like it. It's very his outfit is very interesting and it's very confusing. But it's very cool. Aesthetically, it's very cool. The colors are really nice on his outfit, which is why it's a B. I love the stark red with the mix of the grays and the whites. Also, his hair looks really cool, and I love how gigantic his revolvers are. It's just that I think his outfit requires more lore than just like, this looks cool for this reason. Next up is Anton. We're throwing Anton in C. The reason why is because I think Anton is like the type of character who will bully me in high school, and so we're just gonna throw him up at C. He's way too cool to be. He's just a guy who's just way too cool and bullies people. So you know we're putting him on C. Next up is Sokaku. Sokaku is a B. She's a cool blue demon girl. That's really it. I mean, we just need more demon girls in this game, and so very cool. Next up is Piper. I don't have a tier for this, but Piper is a lolly, so we just delete that. Next up is Nekomiya. You're going to get thrown up. The FBI is going to throw you in jail, so delete. Next up we have is Kolenda. Kolenda, also another lolly. But before we press that delete button, she has the endorsement by Ben. She is an actual cool character, but that's really all based off her lore. So delete. Next up we have is Von Lycan. Von Lycan is our triple S character. He is also my favorite character in this game. If you're going to say yes, or if you're going to say you are a furry, then yes, you are correct. He is absolutely hot, the hottest character in this game, period, next to Rena, which is why they're both at the triple S rank. So I greatly think they're just super cool. So you know what? Von Lycan up there. Next up is Grace Howard. Grace is an A. I love her design. She's got the cool ass, like gigantic, almost, it feels like they wanted to go with a welder mask, but the mask was like too much, so they just went with the visor part of the welder mask. Is very cool. I love her weapon. Her weapon looks super dope, so I really appreciate her weapon. She also has big assets, which is really great, it's not a requirement, but it's always appreciated. I also love her utility belt. I think this is one of the cool things that I wish more of the characters here did, is they obviously, you look at like someone like an Ambi who has, you look at like an Ambi or Sokaku who have skirts, but their skirts are very generic. It's just like, hey, here's just a skirt to be a skirt. Whereas Grace has the dress-like outfit, but it's really built and really designed in a way that represents her working in a construction field. So there's a lot more utility to the dress than just being a dress for a dress sake, which is cool. Next up we have is Ellen. Ellen is our first limited time pool character. I will be ranking this character because you can no longer pull for her at the time of this recording, and I think she has a cool design. I'll be honest. She has a cool design. She is most likely representative of Jaws. And the issue I have with Ellen is very similar to Anton. She is just too cool in a bad way, where I feel like she's trying a bit too hard to be this rebel, to be this cool girl, like, I don't care. It's like, why are you here working as the maids? If you're just too cool for here, you know, I feel like all the rest of the maids are all coming here to do their work, and then Ellen, not so much. So you know what, we're going to go ahead and put her at C. Last one is Zuyan. Look, we're not going to be ranking her just because she, at the time of this recording, and most likely at the time this video gets released, she will still be a character that you can pull for in the game. And as I mentioned before with my gacha stuff, I'm not looking to have people pull for her. You know, I'm not looking to encourage people to pull for her. So I'm just gonna place her up at C there, because we're not gonna say what rank she is. But there you go. That's the rank of all the character designs for Zenless Zone Zero. If you were curious why I deleted most, if not all, of the lollies, it's because I'm a 33-year-old man and I'm not interested in ranking children. Obviously, you do see, okay, look. You do see Corrin up here, but I think Corrin's a little bit of a different character because she isn't sexualized like the rest of the lolly characters. And Sukaku is a cool blue demon girl. Now, even though I think she does fall maybe under the line, once again, another character that's not sexualized, so I'm okay with ranking those two, but the rest I do not want to. That's it for me. Okay, goodbye now. Bye-bye now. I completely forgot about Agent 11 and Luciana. So Agent 11, when I first started to play Zenless Zone Zero, I was like, oh, her and Ambi must be related because their character designs were so closely similar, aside from like the color differences. They just felt so closely similar that I just thought these two were alike in some way. However, you know, the Agent 11 is just a cooler version of Ambi, but it's still, I don't think, an S-rank character. So I'm going to put Ambi at an A right here. And then next up is Luciana. I mean, look, it's another lolly that's sexualized, so we go ahead and delete. Okay, now it's a goodbye.